here from Spain. We hope it has begun well. You're listening to the 47th episode of the Barcelona Virtual Podcast on European marketing and innovation.
And that's not all, Sonia. We're standing on the threshold of not only a new year, but a new day. 2023 promises to be a game changer in many ways.
How so, Paul? Oh, and by the way, a belated Happy New Year to you as well. I think many of us, including all of our friends listening, are truly ready for something new.
Well, Carrie, no one is going to be disappointed. And we're not just talking technology here, not even marketing. There's enough disruption going around to last us for years.
I know. It's keeping me up at night. I can't sleep.
Oh, come on now, Carrie. I don't believe you.
I think she's exaggerating. Just to get to you a bit, George.
You're actually quite perceptive at times, Henry. Still, I insist. The speed of change is becoming a bit too much. Especially with artificial intelligence. It seems it's suddenly everywhere.
I hear you, Carrie. And I feel the same fatigue, to be honest. I think many of our listeners do too. As we begin the year, AI seems to be blindsiding us, what with ChatGPT and a plethora of other generative AI, some of which we discussed in the last episode. Still, I try not to lose sleep over it.
So, what's your secret? You've been dealing with this innovation thing, along with constant paradigm shifts, since way back in the 90s.
Well, Henry, I've learned that things always fall into place. And that despite screaming headlines from overexcited journalists. They are often ill-informed, and very often they get it all wrong. And that's because they forget the most important success factor.
Oh, do pray tell.
The user. We the people, those of us who use these new technologies, always have the final say. Every marketer needs to closely listen to us and involve us, even down to the cerebral level.
The problem is that large companies and brands are not truly interested in doing so, in my opinion.
No, they're not. That's why we've invited Raquel Fructos back for a second interview to give us an update on neuromarketing and some very cool new tools that can help us with that. Neuro Rachel, as she's known on social, will show us just how easy neuromarketing actually is. And I promise, she will definitely activate your neurons. And if you're in luck, maybe even make them dance.
The following content is brought to you by the BV Innovation Lab. Voice services, AI, virtual reality, and neuromarketing are only a few of the ways we help you innovate in a safe space. To learn more, go to lab.bvirtual.com. That's lab.bvirtual.com. At the BV Innovation Lab, we bring you the future today.
Rachel, it's so good to have you back. You know, everyone is saying that 2023 is the year of AI. But the other day, you were telling me about big changes in neuromarketing as well. Why don't we start there?
Hello, Paul. And yes, we have a lot of changes for this year in terms of neuromarketing. The amazing point is that companies around the world are changing the rules of how do they perform studies and how do they understand the consumer behavior. And they have been doing the process, making it much easier, cheaper, and more effective. And the key word to make it possible is AI.
Carrie, there's your new favorite word again.
You're right, Henry. Yet, don't worry, Carrie. When applied to neuro, I think it's a bit more in the background, less frightening. Rachel, you're working with some new platforms and software along those lines. Can you tell us more about that?
I'm really excited about having access to these tools to perform my studies. From one side, I'm working with a company based in Valencia, here in Spain, called Neurocatching. It uses AI to perform studies where we can use eye tracking, facial coding, and also we can perform some implicit tests. We have been performing studies for global brands to analyze the impact of advertising, and we have been dealing with metaverse.
I remember quite well the live session you did in our BV Innovation Lab last June with the founder of Feeder. Do you still use that platform?
Also, we have Feeder, my dearest and loved software where we can deeply study the emotional impact of videos with the best UX in the world. This tool can be managed for any marketer with no need of knowledge about neuroscience.
As usual, we've put links to Feeder and these other tools in the program notes on our blog. You can find them at blog.bevirtual.com. Look for Season 5, Episode 1, in the podcast section.
I don't know if you caught it, Rachel, but last spring in episode 5, we focused entirely on design innovation in Denmark. And now you've told me that you're working closely with a neuromarketing company in Copenhagen. Is that right?
Yes, I work with neurons from Denmark. I would say the top one using AI. With its tool called Predict, they can give you in 10 seconds the behavior and conversion rate of any video creativity or website without launching any study and without using real people.
Without using real people? I'm getting nervous already.
Paul, if you don't mind, just a comment about what Carrie said right before the break. The Danish predictive software doesn't use real people because it's what they call AI-driven attention analysis. I've put an explainer video up on our blog in the program notes.
Thanks, Henry. And Carrie, this is not the movie The Sixth Sense where we, quote-unquote, see dead people. AI is not based on studying avatars, but rather on the behavior of real people, which is then enriched by machine learning. Back to you, Rachel. On a practical note, what beginning steps could a company take using neuromarketing to improve the effectiveness of their communication? Is it difficult? Really pricey?
Easy and not expensive. Just want to know where the problem is? I would scan your website with one of the tools mentioned before. If it's a video, I would use Feeder. And if we're talking about a website or any kind or other kinds of content, I would say neurocatching to start with.
In other words, what should they be testing, in your opinion, that is easy to start with, but will produce great results?
We have to know, and I think that is the most important thing, is to know how your audience understand and perceive your content. In other words, we want to discover the cognitive load, meaning the effort to understand your claim, your message, the level of attention, where people look, and what do they pay attention at, and also the level of memory of your brand awareness. No, so if we have this information, we can propose improvements to increase the effectiveness and the conversion of your campaign.
As we wrap up, one last question. I know that in the BV Innovation Lab, we'll be publishing some of your studies with practical cases. And listeners can also contact us for your personalized in-company neuro trainings.
I think the idea of bespoke trainings for teams on the subject is a great idea. And most especially if you are giving the classes, Rachel. You have a way of bringing it all down to earth.
Where could our listeners find out more about these studies, as well as the courses?
Yes, they can go to the lab's website for more information about studies at lab.bevirtual.com.
Well, my friend, thanks so much for coming and for this express update. As always, it's been fun and illuminating.
It's always a pleasure to share these moments with you, Paul, with the Be Virtual team, and also it's a chance to spread the voice about neuro with your lovely audience.
Well, team, I don't know how you all feel, but my neurons are definitely dancing with all that we've just learned. And it's good to see that new tools are now available that are both easy and economical. Before we sign off, a quick note about Alejandro, Ale, my co-host. I know he's very popular with many of our listeners. To begin 2023, Ale started a new creative project that looks really exciting. I do hope he'll come back later this year and share all that he will have learned with us.
Oh, that's grand. Yet we will certainly miss him.
Well, surprise, we happen to have him on the line right now. So I'll let Ale close this episode with a special message for the team and our faithful listeners from all around the world.
Hello, Paul, Carrie, and to all our listeners. I'm sorry I can't be in the studio with you. I'm about to catch a train heading to my new creative adventure. I'm really excited about it, but at the same time, I'm a little sad to have to say goodbye. Well, I prefer to say see you later, because definitely I would love to come back to tell you all about this new life stage. I want to send you a big hug for all the BV team. And to all to you, see you later.
Remember to check out our other flash briefings in the podcast section of our blog. Many of the episodes include very interesting chats with European innovators and entrepreneurs. Till then, goodbye from Spain.
This flash briefing is brought to you by Barcelona Virtual, a European internet pioneer. To visit us, type the letter B together with virtual.com. That's bvirtual.com.